Machine Pencil Cartography. My channel's goals are to make practical aspects of geography available to my audience. Today I will discuss some more aspects of bathymetry and coping with the harmful effects of water. So, when selecting maps that describe bathymetry features, you may look at a standard map, such as the ones that are available on Google Earth. And the water features are often represented by simple data layers such as just a polygon and are not described in any depth. As a geographer, I have researched bathymetric maps that might be more interesting, and I have come across these maps called nautical charts. So the interesting thing about nautical charts is that nautical charts are produced in order to assist sailors in navigating the water bodies in any given area. I have recently visited an outdoor sporting goods store in my area. I like to look for hours at all of the boating equipment that they had there. My eyes were particularly drawn to the area where they sold GPS products, which were made by Garmin. The cool thing about these products is that they have LiDAR imaging products that scan the bottom of the water. And these products will create maps of the bottom of the lake or river that you are sailing on. They also have these data services where they sell imagery packages. For a modest price, you can purchase maps of every water body in your region. This is excellent because you could sit around and examine these maps, and this would improve your knowledge of local water bodies. This sounds like such an exciting opportunity. Anyways, I have a goal for today to discuss a navigational track called the River Walk. And the River Walk is explained in this way. In my bathymetry navigation video, I have discussed rivers as line features that need to be crossed in the perpendicular axis. So you will walk upon a river and need to cross it, and you will only have contact with the river for a very brief amount of time. The river walk is actually when you walk parallel to the river. Examples of when you might do this is if you are using the river as a guide rail. You will actually be using the river because the river is a navigational object which will allow you to always know your geographical location. At any rate, instead of fording a river in a perpendicular axis, performing a river walk will usually involve walking several hundred meters or even several kilometers in the water, or perhaps on the river bank. Since the river is a flowing stream of water, the river walk technique will either involve swimming upstream or swimming downstream. Various different geological mechanisms will have an impact on the ergonomics of performing this technique. You can describe the current of the stream in terms of how much power the stream has. You could describe the speed and the depth of the water, and this will result in different pedestrian power requirements. You could construct a nautical chart, which would keep track of various riparian effects, and you could use this map to improve your river walking ergonomics, because as we know, having greater familiarity with specific ergonomics along your route will result in having improved navigational outcomes. Common things that might be displayed on a nautical chart. They have this symbol right here, which is a tidal diamond. It is common that they will produce an appendix, which is an almanac, where they give tables that display data about the current at the point designated by the tidal diamond. As an exercise, I would also encourage navigators to build nautical charts for their navigational tracks, as this exercise has both the potential for being fun and for being very educational. My channel's goals are to give you what you need to be inspired by navigational and cartographic concepts. Therefore, I have allocated this space to present one tangentially related article. Bathymetry and meteorology are vaguely related to each other by pertaining to the water cycle. Navigating in bathymetric environments is actually affected by the rain. When it rains, the water level in river systems and lakes will actually rise, and the currents will go faster. Therefore, keeping track of the rain will be a vital forecasting tool for accurately modeling and predicting the behaviors of lacustrine and riparian ecosystems. Therefore, the study of meteorology is a relevant geographical study, where the behavior of global meteorological systems will actually affect your navigational and operational capabilities, because the meteorological systems will impact navigations quite a lot actually. The navigational topics for navigating in the rain will usually involve the desire to stay dry, and you will navigate away from characteristically wet areas towards characteristically dry areas. Or honestly, sometimes you might be grateful for the rain, because in the summer, during hazardous extreme heat, the rain will also provide temperature relief. At any rate, I will describe a topographic or ergonomic model, Where rainwater falls from the sky. The rainwater and gravity will form an orthographic projection of wetness, where any exposed ground layers will end up wet, and any unexposed or covered ground layers will remain dry. The combined effects of having a topographic obstruction, which produces either clearances or suspensions based upon having an object above this area, will give rise to a concept called top cover, where a person will seek out obstructions so that they will be protected from the rain. Common examples of top cover include objects suspended off of the ground. This will include a man-made structure called a pavilion, and it will also include a naturally generated structure called a savanna, which is when you are in a forested area. There is vegetation that occurs above you, and this vegetation will obstruct the flow of water. The savanna is also special because it doesn't have vegetation on the ground level, meaning that the pedestrian will remain highly mobile, but may travel under the aegis of the savanna. The trees will produce a hole in the surface wetness map, meaning that the trees will produce a dry habitat under the cover of the tree canopy. This dry habitat is a preferable navigational track for staying mostly dry in pouring rain. Thank you guys for listening. This has been Machine Pencil Cartography. I hope that you will remember the key concepts of nautical charts, river walks, and top cover as the takeaways from this essay. Please stay tuned for more information on geography and navigational techniques.